What time is it, David?
I think it's 3 o'clock.
It's 3 o'clock. Oh, that was actually quite a good transition for once.
Mm.
That was actually quite solid. I think we should. You should be on more often, David.
I mean, at this point, it's starting to become too much of an occurrence, I think.
But of course, you are listening to the podcast. David's joining me with me today. We don't do 2 takes in this show, so fuck it, that'll stay in. And of course, David's teased it already, but we will be talking about E3. And we actually haven't had a episode like this since the second episode, was it, David? We were talking about Call of Duty.
I don't know.
Gaming related, obviously.
Yeah. I think that was the only other gaming related one that we've done.
But
Mostly it's just films and TV shows. Yeah.
mainly films.
Yeah.
I mean, it really should have been like a film orientated one, to be honest. You know, because out of 11, this will be episode 11, but out of the 11 we've done, even though we've done 12, but we won't speak of.
We don't talk about that one.
We don't talk about that episode. But obviously E3 happened.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment, fucking blah blah blah, Electronics Expo. I don't fucking care what it stands for. E3 is the main focal point in this. But weird this year. Very strange. Because I was actually shocked by it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like, last year, obviously, people were like, you know, rushing to, you know, get anything, show it off, because, you know, obviously, you know, quarantine happened.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
E3 had shut down the first time it was actually cancelled, because everyone just decided to do their own kind of thing.
They did their own little... Because what was it? I know that Xbox had the Xbox Showcase or whatever at that time. And they just
We watched that.
Yeah.
Last year. It was actually quite entertaining. It was very good. Although people hated it, we actually enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
and then of course the best one, the Ubisoft one.
Of course.
My favourite one.
Of course.
It's the one I watch every year because it's the best one, obviously.
To be honest, though, it is probably the most entertaining. Like, the rest of them you go to for
the
the
wrong
actual
reasons.
games, but Ubisoft you go not for the games, but for just the absolute sheer joy that you'll get out of just watching that showcase.
I will never forget, I think it was 2014, they were showing off Far Cry 4, and they announced Watch Dogs 2, and, you know, the presenter came out to the stage and was like, oh, now we're going to show off, and everything went all glitchy, and they're like, oh no, what's happening? And then Watch Dogs 2 came off, and it genuinely was one of the worst, cringiest moments I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I understand the intent.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's Ubisoft and they're going to do something right. You know? You know, we all know how shady they are anyways with the whole behind the scenes stuff that happened, well, not happened last year, but was publicly, you know, available to see last year. Which if you know what we're talking about, you know, but if you don't, just look into it. Ubisoft aren't that great to work with, basically.
Oh, definitely not.
No. But opened very well. The Ubisoft one. Strong.
Well, I would agree with you.
Weirdly enough,
I would agree with you, but I have no idea what happened at it.
Well, they showed off the Rainbow Six.
Oh, yeah,
well, not
Extraction.
Siege, but Extraction straight away. And everyone's kind of like, oh, it's going to be great, oh, it's going to be shit. It's a very mixed reception.
Yeah, the one thing I did...
you being a Rainbow Six, well, just Rainbow Six in general fan, like, what do you think about it?
Here's the thing. I played a lot of Six Siege. I spent so much time, and I haven't spent anywhere like near as much time now, because I just don't like the way the game has gone recently. It's just, I think it's just lost that complete like reality factor that made it so good. But one thing I will say is I've seen a lot of people, and I kind of agree, say that it's a bit weird that they're basing. Isn't it a $60 game? Or
I don't think so.
Is it?
I don't think it will be, because it is a spin-off.
Yeah, because one thing I saw was people saying that it's a bit weird for them to, not weird, but like it's a bit of a Ubisoft thing to make a $60 game based on a free event that happened in Siege.
Oh, so this is kind of tied into Siege, then?
Oh,
I know it's tied into Siege story-wise, but I didn't know it was, like, teased in Siege.
It was a full-on game mode. Like, this whole thing. Like, it was an actual, like, kind of zombies game mode. where there was, I think there was
So
like,
they were kind of testing the waters
Yeah,
first
but it-
before they. Yeah, yeah.
but it was like fully like developed and it was really good, from what I
You
remember.
see that? Yeah. Well, I don't think it will be a full game because I don't think they want to deter from the sales of whatever it is, year 10 of fucking
Oh
Siege
Jesus
at this stage.
Christ! I couldn't
You know what I
even
mean?
tell you.
Is it year 6? I think it's year 6.
It's either year 5 or year 6, or maybe it actually.
Like
year
I knew it was
7.
going to be a good game, but I didn't think it was going to be this big
Yeah,
of a
you didn't
game.
think
If
it'd
you
be-
know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird.
Um,
I don't know how popular it is still, if it still keeps its numbers up or anything like that there. But like I
Yeah.
remember at the time, Siege was like big.
Yeah. Because I know, like, for example, New Dawn, Far Cry New Dawn,
Yeah,
like that was a spin-off, but it wasn't full priced.
it was like a Blood Dragon again, like that sort of situation.
Well, not as cheap as Blood Dragon
Oh.
or Swords. Like it was more of the equivalent to like Primal, Far Cry Primal.
I see. I forgot about Primal. I think everyone else did.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my thing with Primal is if it hadn't been $70 game at launch,
Yeah.
I would have better feelings towards it because it's not a $70 game. it's like New Dawn where it was like 30 quid.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's Ubisoft.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Did they show off anything new for Assassin's Creed or anything like that at Ubisoft?
Assassin's Creed wise, they were just showing off year 2 basically, or the next. They're basically just expansions for Valhalla, which I think is a smart move. I think it's the sort of best kind of play for them to do is, right, we'll have an Assassin's Creed every 2 years. We'll just do kind of like big expansions each kind of, for the rest, for that next year, if you know what I mean.
Because I don't know if the Irish DLC came out yet, or if that's coming later this year.
I think it's coming very soon, but then they announced, was it Siege of Paris?
Really?
Which is a big moment in Viking history, but I think we're going to get another one after that.
Oh, nice.
I'm not sure.
Very nice.
I'd say so. Basically enough to fill the void until like November next year, basically, rather than this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, Extraction. Why?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, is it Extraction? Is that what it's
I
called?
I think so. It just shows how much I cared about Ubisoft this year. I can't even remember. I think
'Cause,
it's
like,
Extraction.
Because like
Or
we're
is
big
it
Extinction
Quarantine?
fans.
Oh, from Call of Duty Ghosts.
Call of Duty Ghostwise, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Goddamn.
Because that's
That-
the kind of
that-
vibe
that-
I got from looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of what the original game
Intention was.
mode in Six Siege was. It was kind of like
Yeah.
3 missions, but it was less of like a zombies, but more it was less of a zombies and more of like just like mission kind of base, kind of like
Yeah.
the first mission in Extinction.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We have to blow up the site, basically.
Yeah, okay, it is Quarantine. Is it?
It's called
No, wait,
Quarantine.
It's Extraction.
Oh, it's Extract. I think the code name originally was Quarantine.
Oh yeah, it was Quarantine. Like
Yeah,
whenever
originally. 'Cause that-
2019's E3. That's
Yeah. Because everyone was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, what's this?" But even before that, it was called Quarantine. Like it'd been talked about for a while.
Yeah. I can't remember.
I
what
think they just it got shopped about and they didn't really know what to do with it, and then they were just like, "Oh fuck it," just tied into this basically.
they probably just changed the name of Quarantine as well because of all the
Yeah.
recent events. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
remember what the original game was called though.
Extraction's a better name.
Oh, it is.
You know what I mean? Because you're extracting your operators as well.
Yeah, I do like.
Which I think's unique.
I do like how they're involving the actual operators more.
Yeah, and that you can't actually use the operator until you extract them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm lying. I'm not a big Siege fan. I don't play it
Yeah.
as much as Dave, obviously.
Oh, trust me, I
But,
don't even play
I know
it
the
anymore.
concept.
I think it's been like
Oh.
2 years since I played Siege.
Jesus.
But yeah, but I do like one thing I will give Siege praise for is the fact that they actually did flesh out all the operators more, and seeing that in Extraction is nice to see. Like,
Because they also showed off a wee small teaser for the TV series, animated TV series for... is it Netflix? I think Netflix are doing it. Or maybe it's just Ubisoft themselves, I'm not sure.
I I think it might be Ubisoft themselves.
Yeah.
Because they tend to do a lot of animated stuff and just put it on YouTube. So they do.
Yeah. But they showed a wee clip of that, and I was like, oh, that's kind of actually interesting, you know what I mean? Because it gave me sort of like Love, Death, Robots kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Because it was very kind of unique, sort of. It was sort of anime, but it was almost like a comic book come to life in sort of a way.
Yeah.
Pretty much an anime then. It's kind of what an anime really is.
Yeah.
Um,
Because they've done some, I mean, fantastic, like, CGI, not trailers, but CGI, like, little mini videos.
cinematics, sort of.
Cinematics, yeah, for, like, I think Rainbow Six is one of them that they did it for. I don't know if they did it for anything else, but they're really, really, like, high quality and quite good.
Almost like the Overwatch kind of videos.
Yeah, exactly. It's
For each
exactly.
individual yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Except less of, like, for the characters, more just little mini stories, kind of, I think,
Oh,
from what I
yeah.
remember, between characters and stuff like that, but they're really good. So at least we know that the quality's there. So hopefully they actually do like good stuff with them.
I mean, there's not going to much more to talk about, is there, when it comes to
Of course we have
Extraction?
Yeah.
When's it coming out? Is it this year, I think?
I think it's late this year.
Yeah.
Let me think.
Because I know they wouldn't want it to sort of clash with Far Cry 6 at the same time. It might be like next February, even now I'm thinking about it.
When's Far Cry 6 coming out?
It's coming out November-ish. October-ish, November-ish.
Because I think
Like, it'd be smart kind of move to push it to maybe January, February.
yeah, because I think that
Not Far Cry, Extinction, fuck. Extraction.
too many game modes starting with the letter E. Oh my god.
I mean, when I actually read it as Extinction first, and I had to do like a double take, like, what the fuck? Wait, what? Activision on the phone to Ubisoft with the lawyers. It's like, well, you weren't gonna fucking make another game mode, so we decided to just fucking steal it anyway. Me and Dave, once again, big Extinction fans until it was fucking ruined in Infinite Warfare.
Oh, until they just
It was all a film.
But yeah, I don't think they actually gave a release date, but I think it's just that all we know is I think it is coming out this year. Q2, I think.
Well, moving on swiftly to, of course, the big dog in the room. The main reason I kind of watched this E3 was Far Cry 6.
Oh, yes.
Now, I know you have a love-hate relationship, as much as I do, but I'm sort of like, like blind diehard fan. Much like you in Bethesda. But we'll get to that later.
Exactly. Anything Todd Howard says, I just eat it up. With a big
there's
smile on
something
my
I have to
face.
talk to you about what Todd said recently. And
Oh, really?
it really
Was it more of
pissed
his
me
sweet
off.
little lies?
No, well, it was more of, I think, he believes himself. And that's kind of the problem. But no, Far Cry 6, obviously it got delayed. It originally came out, what, was it February originally?
I think it was.
No, it was November last year.
Yeah.
And then got delayed till February, and then of course got delayed to November, which is a smarter move, I think, because especially what we've seen with like Cyberpunk recently.
Yeah, I think the same thing happened with Extraction as well. Extraction was meant to come out in 2020, I think.
I think it was like even most games because
Yeah,
of Cyberpunk, because it was
Yeah.
literally after Cyberpunk a lot of games got delayed.
Yeah.
what I mean?
Everyone just kind of went, oh god, we can't be the next Cyberpunk.
All investors, yeah, we're gonna push it a wee bit. But no, Far Cry 6, obviously, it's kind of, what I've seen from it is, because I played basically every Far Cry game.
Even one?
Yes.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Oh,
Don't
God.
play it. It's not- Well, actually, I'll go into that in a minute, but anyway, I'll explain my problems with one, or the version I played. But basically, 6, they basically took the elements people enjoyed from like 3, from 4, 5, and even up until New Dawn.
Yeah.
New Dawn wise, specifically the way you can craft your own weapons.
Yeah, I've seen that. There's a lot of promotional stuff about that where you can, there's like a flamethrower, and then there's like a backpack that shoots rockets and stuff.
Yeah. I think you can make like a saw blade crossbow sort of
Oh
thing.
god.
Although I could be get confused with New Dawn, because I'm pretty sure New Dawn had that. New Dawn had a lot of. Well, weird thing about New Dawn is all guns were you had to basically make all your guns.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Just oh yeah, it was very like, and they all were very unique. So like, if you wanted a bayonet, it was basically a long screwdriver at the bottom of your like AK-47 or whatever. It was very unique, sort of a way, and I'm wondering. I'm not sure. I'm seeing because I do want to do a Far Cry 4 where I watch all the cinematics, all the story, everything, gameplay wise, because I that sort of made me disappointed in 4.
Oh yeah, you've just built up your expectations. Even
Yeah.
even it built up your expectations, and at the same time, you're going into the game knowing so much about it that
Everything.
you don't really get to experience the game for yourself in a way.
Because like 5 was different, where I kind of like looked at half the stuff, but even if you did look at everything, it didn't. Because 5 had a lot to offer compared to 4. 4 was very bare bones, if you know what I mean.
Wasn't 4 like too similar to 3?
It was basically 3 just reskinned.
Yeah.
A
I don't think I ever finished 4, so I don't really remember it.
lot of people. It's a very different game. I defend it story wise in some aspects, but like gameplay wise, there was nothing it really had the offer.
Yeah.
That 3 already didn't already do, if you know what I mean. Like it added a grappling hook, and that was about it, which was
Yeah.
unique. And helicopters, but I actually have a problem with the helicopters because it was something fixed in 5. 5 did the planes very well.
Oh yeah, 5 did so much like.
Because I think 5 was designed with the planes in mind, which was
Yeah, it had so many so many improvements over the other ones. Like
good.
everything in like 3 and 4 felt but half baked in a way
Yeah.
compared to 5. 5 just kind of fleshed them out. I hope 6 fleshes them out even more then. So it does.
Well, like 6 seems interesting because for once we're getting a city,
yeah,
and it's very sort of like it's almost like Oblivion, for example. Where it's
really?
almost like, you have like the Imperial City in the middle, and like surrounded by that is just basically open land and like small little towns and stuff.
yeah,
I think that's kind of like the best way to compare it.
yeah, yeah. I think so. That's
Because
interesting.
like
though.
most Far Cry games, well, all Far Cry games are sort of like designed differently, which I kind of like.
Oh, they all
We're
have their own kind of feel to them.
Yeah,
Like, not
like
feel,
3
but-
is like you have one big island,
Yeah.
then you unlock the second island halfway through the game, and then like 4, for example,
4 is like you're in the mountains.
you're sort of working your way uphill.
Yeah.
It's like this uphill battle, but like you basically have to progress the story to go up, and then 5 you basically can do whatever the fuck you want.
in any
Like that's
order.
what I kind of liked about 5. 5 was like, yeah, do whatever way you want to do these 3 sort of areas.
Yeah.
Which was nice in a way.
Oh yeah.
Whereas New Dawn, no, I don't really count New Dawn too much because it is a spin-off.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's better to compare these to like the mainland sort of.
Oh yeah.
You know, the numbered titles.
Yeah.
Realistically. But obviously Giancarlo Esposito is the main villain.
Oh yeah.
Far Cry obviously known for their villains, if anything.
Yeah, that's.
And
I can't think of a franchise that has like more memorable villains than Far Cry.
like even like under like even Far Cry 2, which is whose villains basically never in the game,
Yeah.
is still quite well known. The Jackal.
Yeah. Even I don't think I've ever played Far Cry 2, but I still knew the name.
Yeah.
Like.
Except for Far Cry 1's. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm gonna leave that until at the end of the Far Cry discussion. I want to talk about 1, right? Because there's a lot of things.
We could do an entire podcast episode on the Far Cry franchise.
Basically, just Ubisoft. This should just be a Ubisoft discussion. Like, we're halfway through the Ubisoft stuff and we're like 20 minutes into the stage.
Yeah, but to be fair though, after this, is there really much else to talk about Ubisoft?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because we're not gonna like that. We'll get on the Xbox, and after that, we're gonna be like trailing around sort of.
Yeah.
But 6, from what I've seen from Giancarlo Esposito's performance so far, is it's very unique for him.
Yeah.
Because like I've seen him in Breaking Bad, obviously, seen him in The Boys, Mandalorian. It's a very unique performance. Like he has a very different voice. Like it's obviously the game's meant to be set in like fictitious Cuba, in a way. Yara,
yeah.
I think it's called, and he's a very different performance for once, and I kind of like that.
Really?
I like even at this age that he's at now that he's kind of like, oh, I can sort of do whatever I want, and have this. Because what I heard is he even brought in like props and stuff, and they're like, oh, okay,
Really?
because he really got into the role.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
I think with Far Cry games you kind of need to, because it's such a high standard.
Oh yeah, like you have so much like competition
Oh yeah,
in terms of like you're going to be compared to these other
obviously
villains.
Vass.
Yeah,
The staples here, the one everyone recognizes. It's the elephant in the room, basically.
Oh yeah, it's like
One of the best written villains in video games or in any media.
It's like I almost feel kind of bad for anyone that takes up the villain role in a Far Cry fan or in a Far Cry game, because it's like you have so much to live up to then.
Pretty much, yeah.
But from
Yeah.
what I have seen, like I think he might be my favorite, other than Vass so far. I think.
Because like it's a very nuanced performance,
Yeah.
and there's obviously that father-son relationship that's going to be very unique
Yeah.
for a Far Cry game. I'm just very excited for once, because I think it will offer a lot for like not even like new fans, but even like old ones, which I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's kind of a big balance you have to kind of find these days.
Yeah.
Call of Duty's finding a good way of doing it. I think Halo's starting to have kind of a nice kind of balance recently,
Yeah. Halo's.
which we'll get onto later.
Yeah. Don't want to spoil too much.
Another teaser. But I think it is something you kind of have to play around with, and if you fuck it up, you're losing half the audience, if not both
Yeah.
sides. But yeah, no, right. That's I have to talk about Far Cry, the first one. I have. Right, we'll leave
Go ahead.
6 because
This is
I'll
no
talk
longer
about the
an
season
easy
pass for
discussion.
6. I need to get this out of the way. So Crytek made Far Cry, the original Far Cry.
Wait, what?
For PC.
Crytek?
Crytek made the original Far Cry.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
and basically they didn't want to like make any more, so they basically sold the rights to Ubisoft and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Ubisoft, before making like a sequel, they were like, "Oh, we'll just play around and get to sort of like do our own kind of a thing." So they made like Far Cry Predator and Far Cry Instincts,
Yeah.
which was basically like a remake. They were both remakes of the first game, but it's like you had like these like, Dave, I just wanted you to play there's
See-
aliens like in the first Far Cry game. The
See-
version I basically the version after that, they basically, after making those two versions, they were confident enough to port it to the 360 as Far Cry Instincts and Far Cry Instincts Predator, right? And then they basically made 2, they made 3, but after 3 or 4, I think Far Cry 4 came out, they decided to make Far Cry Classic for the Xbox Live Arcade, and also a bundle of the first 3 Far Cry games in the trilogy. But the
Yeah.
problem is with Far Cry Classic, which is the only one I've played personally, is it's basically a reskin. They basically took assets from 3.
Oh, dear
So like the
God.
HUD's pretty similar. The like
Yeah.
animation, like it's very toned down. Because I thought, oh Jesus, first Far Cry game, why was it so highly regarded and stuff? But apparently they basically just took a ton of stuff out of the game.
Yeah. Just to make it
Like if
fit.
you're swimming in water, and if you're
Yeah.
holding a gun, your character will just put the gun away. But in the original Far Cry, he'll like swim with like a sniper rifle in his hand and stuff. Like it was very elaborate and stuff. Like there's little things that changed it.
Yeah.
But like Far Cry Classic was a very simplified Far Cry game, and yeah, there was like mutations and aliens and shit. But we'll just leave that aside because it was a very weird game. But yeah, just don't play it.
See,
I finished it in like, you can finish in like 2 3 hours, maybe. No, about 3 to 4 hours.
See, the only thing I've seen of the first
Excuse
Far
me.
Cry game is whenever we watched, was it the main menu?
Oh my god,
Was
yes,
it
I
the
had to
main
show you,
menu?
didn't I?
Yeah, and we just couldn't get over what was going on the entire time. Like, it was mind blowing.
To whoever's listening, please just go up and go online, look up Far Cry, Far Cry Classic, opening cutscene or
That's what
an
it was.
opening cinematic or whatever. But or no, like the menu scene, because I don't even think it's like the opening.
Yeah, I think
no,
it was
is
like
the
the
opening cutscene.
Yeah.
No, it is the opening cut. It's so amazing. It is the best thing.
It is one of the most confusing and just mind-numbing things you'll ever watch, and it explains nothing about what's going on, and it's just beautiful in every aspect.
The worst thing is like it explains everything if you finish the game, but like at the start you're like, what the fuck? Like, but it's not like a Nolan film where it's like, oh, I give you all the answers at the start. It's more of, no, here's like a ton of stuff we didn't really know what to put in the start, but fuck it, and then you're like, all right, and you sort of piece it together yourself.
Yeah.
Oh
my god! I'm
no,
just saying.
don't play the game. Just look at the opening.
Yeah,
cutscene.
if
That's all I say.
anyone listening has a chance, just watch it. You will not regret it.
It's one of the greatest things, because I saw it and I was like, I have to show David. I just have to show David. It's amazing.
Oh my god!
But the finish on Far Cry, I have to talk about the Seasons Pass. Now, Far Cry 5 did a great... Well, we'll start with 4. 4 Seasons Pass wasn't that good, alright?
Yeah.
Because it had like a shitty mission, and the only really good thing was Valley of the Yetis, and it was something you could complete in about 4 hours, or not 4 hours, fuck, what am I lying? About 2 to 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
But it was kind of unique in some way, like it was like it's a little small kind of a thing. Then 5 came out, and 5 actually did have a very good Seasons Pass where it was 3 completely different things, and they were all kind of alluded to and hinted towards.
Yeah.
Because you could collect like collectibles in Far Cry 5. Like you could collect what was it? Was it dog tags or something?
I think it was. Yeah.
I think it was dog tags from Vietnam you could collect, but that was hitting towards the first DLC set in Vietnam. Which is actually really but it's very enjoyable. You can complete in about like 2 or 3 hours again, but very sort of unique.
Yeah.
For like it doesn't feel like a Far Cry thing, even though it sort of does. But it has like this own story and stuff, like this whole backstory.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then you have the second DLC, which is Mars, obviously. Which
Yeah.
is you fight space spiders in Mars, which again has its own like unique weapon set and stuff. Like you've all like these. Oh, there's so many different like alien guns.
Yeah. Can you
And-
see the alien guns and all the custom weapons for the DLCs? Can you bring them over to the main game, or is it just?
Oh, they're in the main game then. You can buy
Yeah.
them. I think you can only buy like 2 or 3 of them or something, but they're still in the game at least, you know?
Yeah. Because the one thing I remember from 5, well, isn't there a mission to do with a guy like doing movies? I had something to do with aliens, or am I just
No, I'll get to that in a minute.
Ah, okay.
Well, basically, there was a side mission about the guy with the aliens, but he was like trying to hunt them down and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like he wore tinfoil hat and all, basic.
Yeah, that's.
Far Cry is a parody of
Yeah.
itself in a way, or the real world, I should say. But no, basically, it ties into him, and then you get sucked off with is his name Herc? I can't remember. He's been in like 4 fucking games now.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
I think it is Herc. Yeah, Herc
Yeah,
makes
he's like-
sense, right? Yeah, fuck it. His name's Herc anyways now. They're in- fuck it, he's John. John anyways. We're calling him John. So John gets sucked away, and then like he's like a floating head, so you basically have to like acquire all his body parts and like reassemble him. But it's like a fun, nice, because it has its own kind of like separate like map in a way.
Yeah.
Not to compare it to something like Dragonborn DLC with Soulstorm or anything, but like it's sort of like the Soul Cairn, and where it has
Is
its
it-
own
is it-
small kind of an area.
Is it more like Mothership Zeta for Fallout 3? Have you ever
Yeah.
played that?
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's like
it's more like that. Like it is quite open world, but it's obviously enclosed and stuff at the same time.
yeah.
But you can like boost up into the air and stuff because of gravity. Like it's more
Oh, really?
height range rather than width.
Oh, so it's more vertical traveling
Yeah,
and stuff.
pretty much.
That's pretty cool.
But it's like a fun small game that you can play in longer. Like there's a ton of collectibles and stuff as well. So that'll take you about 5-6 hours maybe. And then finally the zombie DLC,
Yeah.
which ties into your man doing the films who was making
That's what I was
Far
thinking
Cry
of.
Blood Dragon 3, which is
Yeah.
the third film in the Blood Dragon films, basically. I kind of like the idea that Blood Dragon is, the Blood Dragons are actually films. I'm fine with that being a film
But
in the Far Cry universe.
But not Extinction.
You know what I mean? Not Extinction. Extinction was too good.
It was.
But basically he's doing like zombie flicks and stuff, and you basically have to do certain things for him because you're basically an actor, even though these zombies are kind of real. But it's like this fun little thing. They're all like mini missions, basically. Essentially, it's not more open world like the second DLC or the first one, essentially.
Yeah.
But it's a nice wee small pack for that like extra,
Oh yeah.
couple of bucks or whatever to to add on. 30 quid at most, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe even 25, but it's nice. But then, of course, with 6, they kind of had a topless. So they saw it'd be a good idea to. By the way, if you got the season pass for 5, you could get Far Cry 3 Classic.
Oh
Edition
yeah, I forgot about
remastered.
that.
Just the campaign solely, obviously.
Yeah.
Sadly, no one played multiplayer, even though it was kind of alright. But for 6, they decided we're gonna do 3 sort of DLCs again, but they're gonna be each one's gonna be about 3 iconic villains in the Far Cry franchise, starting with obviously Voss Montenegro, Pagan Min, and then Joseph Seed, of course. And it's basically you play as them and you get into their kind of mind in a way.
Yeah.
Like they showed up because like originally I thought when they're showing stuff I was like, oh, this is Far Cry 3 VR, because like it's like showing Vass and stuff and it's all first person, and then you grab Vass and then it like flicks over so like you are Vass and you're looking at Jason Brody,
Oh, that's cool.
and he like pushes you away because he's basically become psychotic at this point. But I was thinking about it, and this might, spoilers for Far Cry 3, this might tie into Far Cry 3 when Vass is hunting you down, or you're going in to kill Vass.
Oh yeah.
So that might be interesting, if you know what I mean. We might
Yeah.
see his side of that.
That's,
I don't know about the other two, but
Yeah, that's
know.
what I was thinking. Like, it would be interesting, especially with someone like Vass, just to kind of not to clarify, but just to kind of give you more insight into what he was doing, and especially the
Yeah.
other villains. Like while you're going around doing your own stuff in the main game, that is quite a
what I like is the voice actors have returned as well.
yeah.
Because I remember Michael Mando teasing that, and everyone's like, "Oh, what is it?" And I was like, "Ah, it's only Far Cry 3 VR."
Yeah,
And
because
then it wasn't.
didn't everyone think that the main villain in 6's son was going to be Vass then?
Yeah, that was the original theory, but thank God that was disproved. Wouldn't make any
That would have been
sense.
terrible.
It was all based along the lines of they were both of the same ethnicity and they had a similar sort of scar in their eyebrow. But other than that, there was no connection.
Yeah.
But then, of course, the little tease at the end, we got to saw.
The most
we got to see-
exciting point, I'm just going to add this in, this was probably the most exciting bit of news from the Ubisoft E3 I've had.
What was the reason you were going to actually buy this? Well, the season pass.
It was the only reason I would buy 6. Not the only reason,
Was Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon
but yeah,
remastered, of course.
in my opinion.
It's a game. I think it was like one of the
Best
first.
Far
It was
Cry
the
game.
second game I 100%ed after Assassin's Creed 2, and I'm actually. It's been a while if you think about it, because it's been 8 years
Since Blood Dragon?
since Blood Dragon.
Oh my
Blood Dragon
god.
was 2013. It's kind of mad, isn't it?
That
But like, if I
is-
think about it, by the time this comes out, it'll probably be like 9, nearly.
Yeah,
It's kind of mad.
that
you
is.
know what I mean?
See, I only played
I mean,
it, what,
perfect time for it.
I'm thinking about that's quite weird because I think I played that like 2 years ago, but it felt like a month ago.
Wow. Well, like the weird thing is Ubisoft Seasons Pass. Their Seasons Passes are kind of making people want to buy seasons. Like it's a good
Oh, yeah.
Seasons Pass for once. You know what I mean? It's not like a shitty kind of Seasons Pass. Like they've done the same with like Valhalla, for example.
Yeah.
Like you get these big expansions in a way.
The one thing I will say about 6 is though, just that you mentioned Valhalla, is I hope to God they do not monetize it like Valhalla.
if they do, it'll hopefully just be to the point that
If it's
5 or New Dawn
yeah,
was, where you could buy credits to buy guns quicker.
yeah.
But I don't really mind that because you can get them in the game anyways.
Oh
if you know what I
yeah,
mean.
but like with Valhalla and especially what was it, Odyssey and all.
It's mainly Assassin's Creed games that do
Yeah.
this.
Oh, I suppose they've switched Assassin's Creed to be a lot more open world and grindy, but they haven't done that
Yeah.
with Far Cry, so I think it should be safe. Hopefully.
Hopefully, at least.
Yeah.
We'll pray.
As long as there's no goddamn watchtowers to climb, I'll be happy.
Well, I love how like the start of 5
Yeah,
is
5.
basically that,
It's like
and
a-
they just sort of tease
They,
it.
you do it once and you're like, oh no, not this again, and then it's
And he's like, no, you're fine. It's like he says something like, oh, thank God, you only have to do one of them.
yeah. I think I started sweating and panicking whenever that happened in 5.
I mean, to end on Far Cry as a whole, it's good that we actually have a protagonist back for once.
Oh yeah.
So we've had a game and a spin-off where we haven't had a characterization, and
Yeah.
a female protagonist for once as well,
Yeah, it's very
Danny. So it should be interesting at least. Nice dynamic, I should say.
Yeah, because I think that's one thing that 5 definitely it felt that it really missed.
Because I think with 5 they really tried to push the co-op aspects,
Yeah,
and that's why they wanted more customization. Whereas I don't think there's any co-op in this, which I'm kind of okay with.
I don't mind it as long as it lets them focus.
I'd rather a single player be better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a very focused, like Fallen Order, it's very just focused on single player.
Yeah, like because it has like co-op has ruined games in the past, like what Dead Space 3.
Yeah. Because like I like the idea that you can switch to third person mode
Yeah. Oh, that yeah.
in between the two.
Yeah. That's quite
So
interesting.
that should be interesting at least, yeah.
Mm.
But moving on.
The other best part of Ubisoft E3, which is the best part of every E3 or Ubisoft E3 every year, Just Dance 2022.
I mean, we were talking about this before we started this recording, but
It's
it's always so over dramatic.
it's mind numbing how big of a performance they do for Just Dance
I know.
every year. I don't understand
People
why.
must buy them.
They must
People
be.
genuinely must buy these games, though. Because they still make them. Like, the last game on the Wii was a Just Dance game. It was like Just Dance 2020 or something.
Oh God,
I swear, I think so. I'm pretty sure
that doesn't
that's right,
surprise
like.
me. Like,
They were still making it for the Wii. People were buying it for the Wii. There were 2 console generations down the line and they were still making it. The Switch was out for ages at that point.
did they even make one for the Switch?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I think
God.
everyone since the Switch came out, it's been on the Switch. I mean, at least Switch's motion controls in a way.
Yeah, I just
You know.
wanted to say that just if anyone
You
has
have
any
to throw it in, yeah.
if anyone has any input on why they keep doing this, please let
If
us
anyone
know.
was worried that they weren't going to do another Just Dance game, they would set you straight there.
Yeah, I had to fill these all in. Like, it's such a big. My mind just goes numb thinking about it.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, but was there anything else from Ubisoft C3?
I mean, other than...
Cause I can't really.
Ooh.
Oh, was it that they did the Rabbids thing with Mario?
Sequel to the Mario and Rabbids game.
Yeah.
Because they did one before, but this is obviously a sequel to it. Apparently it did well. Especially on the
Yeah.
Switch, obviously.
Or
what do you mean, especially on Switch? Only on the Switch, I should say. It's a Switch-oriented... It's only a Switch game. Apparently it did sell well, though. It's kind of like XCOM in that kind of a way.
I did hear that it did quite well. Was it?
Like,
Oh, sorry,
go
one.
No, go on.
No, my thing was going to be
We're being too polite.
a different Ubisoft thing. Were you saying something about the thing?
Oh, Rabbids, just apparently I'd say I'll get a third one because that kind of partnership's solid at least. It was a big deal when they announced the first one, I remember. But I'm trying to think. All they showed off was like Watch Dogs Legion DLC with Aiden Pierce, and I was like, okay, don't care.
I was going to say before, did they reveal that Avatar game at Ubisoft
Oh,
one?
that was what they ended on, and that's what we will end on, Ubisoft wise.
Yeah. I
Was
mean, to be
the
honest, I don't think
announced
there's really anything
Avatar.
else to talk.
No, that's literally
What's it
it. And
called?
I think it was smart that they ended on that because it was
Yeah.
kind of a big talking point because there hasn't been an Avatar game in since the film came out, basically.
Oh,
Um,
Jesus.
it's like new Frontiers of Pandora or something.
Yeah.
But the weird thing was, and I was trying to think about this, I wonder when it's set.
Yeah.
Because if it's set between the first and second film, it'll make kind of sense. Because the second film is set like 12 years after the first one, anyways.
It would be nice to have it a bit of have it kind of bridge everything together if it needs it.
Yeah, yeah. Like visually, it looks alright. Looks
Yeah.
good.
Well, it was
I
just
just
a
hope
CGA
that
trailer, was it,
they.
that they revealed, or did they actually show anything? Like,
No, it was just a cinematic trailer.
yeah.
It was just sort of like an announcement. I don't think
Yeah.
it would make sense to just show. It was smart to just announce it. If you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Probably not coming
come
late.
next year. Perfect
Oh
timing.
really?
Perfect timing, yeah.
Hmm.
With the film, I imagine that'll come out like November.
If the film
And
is
then the
ever
film will
coming
come-
out.
No, well, it is done. It is done. It is done. Apparently, it is like actually done.
Yeah.
Everything.
Oh,
I think it's like called The Way of the Water or something. Because I know like the third Avatar film is going to be like solely underwater. And I was like, oh okay, just
Hmm.
Aquaman, but James Cameron's Aquaman. That was an Entourage reference. Um, but no, that's kind of for Ubisoft, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit, it's kind of the same thing with every most of the E3 presentations. They're all but kind of lackluster this year,
Yeah.
except for
Well, I
one.
mean, the only one to talk about now is Xbox,
The big one.
the big one.
If you can't tell, we are a bit of a shell for Xbox and Bethesda. Well,
Are we?
I am for Bethesda and Xbox.
I have PlayStation 4, and a PlayStation 1, and a PlayStation 2.
But you also have an Xbox One and an Xbox Series X.
Yeah, but I have PSP, David. That's how
Ooh.
I bought the PSP because no one else did. Everyone laughing with their DSs. I was like, I have PSP. You can go fuck yourself. I haven't watched Spider-Man with a film on it. What can you do? I actually have like the Spider-Man trilogy on the PSP.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
Oh
because
my
they did
God.
like they did discs that like where you could watch films on. I used to just watch Spider-Man trilogy. I don't have DVDs. I just have the Spider-Man trilogy. Well, I have a Blu-ray of it now, like the Tobey Maguire trilogy, obviously,
Oh my god.
and the Raimi trilogy. But I used to just watch on my PSP on like road trips.
That is amazing. I didn't know you could actually watch
Uh,
movies on the PSP.
Oh yeah, it was pretty cool. It was like a weird selling point. But yeah, of course, Xbox. Should we just get Halo out of the way, and then talk about the big dog? I know what dog you're on about.
I mean, to me, they're all big dogs. Like,
Well, I want to talk about Halo because there wasn't much to talk about.
What do you mean there wasn't much? There was so much.
Well, there's enough for another podcast. What I want to say, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
uh,
It was. I'm really glad that it got delayed.
yeah,
The
it
visual,
looks a lot
the
better.
visual improvements from this trailer. Oh my god, yes. Story wise, like the cutscene between Chief, I think her name is the Weapon, or Cortana too. I can't remember. I think they've just called her the Weapon so far, but
Yeah, go on.
but
I need to talk about Cortana, but go on.
no, what I was just gonna say is just that cutscene just felt it felt more Halo than any of the games so far
Mm.
after 3, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Like, especially recently, to me the games have kind of been drifting away from. They haven't really felt like Halo, but this one really just does feel like it's kind of bringing that feeling back. Which I'm very grateful for.
I think they're trying to go for like that definitive experience.
Oh yeah, something that
You know.
pleases old fans and brings in new ones, and I think they're really just nailing that so far. Like,
Because this is going to be a lot of people's first Halo game. I
Yeah.
imagine. You know what I mean? Like for years to come, basically.
oh yeah, well I mean if it's well, the name kind of teases at that, but it does
Yeah.
seem like it's like kind of just going to be this thing that's just going to keep updating. Like I know that there was leaks ages ago about like story DLCs and stuff like that.
Mm. I think it would be kind of smart moves.
Oh
if you know what I
yeah,
mean.
like I would absolutely love if they did stuff like that where you could get missions playing. It's just say all the characters of blue team just off doing their own
Yeah.
missions, just doing little separate things, stuff
Because it
like
was
that.
something I always wanted with like Call of Duty for a while, where it's just one Call of Duty game and it just constantly gets updated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It seems to be kind of the trend with things going on
Mm.
now.
I think it was mainly like with stuff like GTA Online being a big
Yeah,
deal for that kind of, that was kind of like the trendsetter in a way.
yeah, and it feels like everyone's
Just
kind of
because it
playing
was the one that
catch up
did
now.
successfully,
Yeah.
you know. So everyone's sort of like 10 years later being like, okay, we'll do this.
Everyone, 10
Um,
years later, everyone's tried their own things. They've all failed. And then they're like, all right,
I,
we'll just jump on
Dave,
this.
I need to get the elephant out of the room. Right? I just need to.
Mm.
What the fuck is up with Cortana? What is that design? What the fuck's going
It's
on?
not
What a fucking
Cortana.
downgrade. I don't care. It's such a fucking downgrade, David.
What-
What is that?
all
What is
right,
it?
all right.
Look at the face. The face is fine. Why is it? I'm not saying
So
she
you-
should not wear clothes,
So
but come on.
you're saying you want the old look where her let's just say cleavage is hanging out.
No, I'm just saying. Like, it's too off. It's too off, David.
That's why.
Why?
It's
Why is
meant-
it wearing clothes now? Why
It's
now?
not
Why?
Cortana. It's a
I
different.
know, but still, it's
you know-
not right. It's not
Exactly.
right.
That's the thing. It's meant to be like an uncanny valley situation
I know.
where it has the voice and a bit of the look of Cortana, but you
Yeah.
know it's not her.
Because the face
even-
is even slightly different.
Yeah, but that's going to be the interesting thing. Because I wonder if Chief is going to go through the game treating her like Cortana, and I want to know if that's
I
going to
think that'll
impact.
be a big thing.
things.
Yeah.
Because my guess is going to be that either Halsey cloned another one of her cloned a new brain, and they're going to use that,
Yeah.
or if Halsey's going to quote unquote sacrifice herself to make a new Cortana.
Yeah.
So like I really it's so interesting.
It's very open ended, the story now.
Yeah,
Even for a finale, which is good.
I mean I wonder if they're because
Well, not really a finale, but really a big finale.
I can kind of see it being the finale of Chief's story so far, like
Yeah. Yeah.
because I don't want to be rude or anything, but like the voice actor and just the character himself is getting quite old in a way,
Yeah.
or you don't know how much longer like they'll be able to like just kind of support this character, like how much more you could actually do with this character, which I think
It's kind of like you rather have like this big send off.
Yeah,
and, keep doing it until you fucking die, basically.
yeah, basically, because like it's one of those things where like I would rather them have a good ending to him instead of keep dragging it out.
Mm.
And like thinking about what Four did it really well. As much as Four got it wrong, Four's story with Chief and just giving him a personality, more of a personality and stuff like that was really good. Then Five kind of showed what happens when you don't really know what to do with that or what
Yeah.
to do next.
Yeah.
And I'm glad Six or Infinite, it's basically Six, is kind of reverting on
Yeah,
Five.
pretty much.
And I like how it's kind of not retconning, but kind of going over Five in a way to kind of bring back that personality to more of an interesting theme. But then after that, I don't really know what they could do. So
It's a good way to end it.
Yeah.
Essentially. It's like, you rather end it. It's kind of like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
There was a lot of characters that sort of should have died because this whole thing about Game of Thrones is when the character dies, it's because they have nothing left in the
Yeah.
story, in the stakes, right? And I think that's why, like, season 7 and 8 didn't do very well because there was a lot of characters there that just should have died because they actually
yeah.
genuinely didn't add anything.
a lot.
Their stories were kind of done, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
there's too many characters there that were just standing about doing nothing, but still kind of clogged up everything that was going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, one thing I think about Halo though is I'm just thinking if they're going to make. You haven't played Halo Wars, have you? Halo Wars 1
No.
and 2? Well, if you. I don't know if this just might be my own little headcanon, but they're kind of gearing Jerome from Halo Wars 1 and 2 to kind of not take the mantle in a way, but from what I gathered, it's kind of like a nice little. It could be someone that could kind of keep
Noble
it going.
6.
Don't talk about Noble. You know my feelings
Noble
on Noble
6.
6.
Noble 6, David.
dead.
Well, we saw a helmet. We didn't see a body,
Ah,
David.
don't be. There's so
We
many.
didn't see a body.
The sad thing is, there's so many people clawing at that the idea
Have
that
you
he's-
learned nothing from English class? If you do not see the character die, if it dies off screen, they didn't die, okay?
Oh, he's just hiding in a cave on Reach somewhere. He's fine.
We didn't
I still don't
visually see
understand what everyone's
Palpatine
upset-
die in 6.
Don't you dare! We just saw him get thrown down an exhaust shaft, but he didn't
Yeah, but we
actually
didn't see
die.
he disappeared. He just disappeared, if you know what I mean.
He just disappeared into the black void, and then the entire thing exploded around him. But I still don't understand people's obsession with Noble Six.
Yeah,
still baffles me.
literally no character whatsoever.
The rookie from ODST didn't say a single word, but still had more character expressions and
Yeah.
more of a character than Noble Six. Noble Six is
Because
just
Noble
one-
6 was just a vessel for the
Yeah,
player,
only-
essentially.
What I've gathered is people only like Noble Six one because he does cool things, but he only does cool things because he's
The story needs him to.
yeah. And the
Pretty
other
much,
thing
yeah.
is he has cool armor, but at the same time, it's the multiplayer armor that you just like.
Yeah. It's your
basic-
own armor.
It's
you
your
choose.
standing. Like I
Yeah.
can understand why people like it because it's your own visual representation. But people thinking that it's a character that needs to come back, no.
No. It's like bringing, even though they, well, in Far Cry 5, you know your main character in Far Cry 5 that you play as.
Yeah,
They did bring them back, but in a very cool and unique way in New Dawn.
Yeah.
Sort of,
yeah. It was like wait, wasn't he a companion?
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a character that was basically just so tortured
Yeah.
and so broken that there's whatever that character was is not there anymore. You know what I mean? Like there's no evidence really
Yeah.
except for like the priest talks to him is like
Yeah, I've seen clips
I
of like
wonder what happened to you.
I've seen clips of like the older characters from 5 try to interact with them.
And it just gargles back.
Yeah.
Like it's really it's freaky. But
anyway, yeah. Well, just finish this up. I do hope that Jerome, because like in Halo Wars, Jerome does kind of get an AI. And they have a nice little. They have a nice relationship in a way, kind of like a Cortana and Chief one. So if they
be
ever,
a nice continuation.
yeah,
if they
it's a
ever-
nice
yeah.
character to continue on, especially the fact that he's technically 25 years younger than Chief,
Yeah.
but still a Spartan too. So he still has like that taller, kind of more like experience kind of feel to him. What do you think? I don't know. Don't know how to explain it, but like that's just I could honestly sit here and ramble for hours about this, but I'm not
I
going
know.
to.
We will have a Halo episode one day.
Whenever Infinite comes out, we could. But yeah,
Well, that actually could work. Yeah.
all I'm gonna say is it was nice to see a little bit of the campaign. Nice to see the touch ups on everything. Nice to see have that more Halo feel. And then, do you want to talk about the multiplayer then?
Well, you can go on.
Looks pretty good.
It does. I mean, I was always worried
Yeah.
because I don't know. I have this weird love-hate relationship with Halo's multiplayers.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how to explain. Like, I liked Reach. Well, I liked 3,
Yeah.
but I didn't find it as good as Reach. Reach I actually kind of enjoyed. 4 I sort of enjoyed. 5 was a bit weird.
Yeah.
I have never played Halo 5's campaign,
Don't.
but I played the multiplayer.
Don't.
Like,
All I'm gonna say, Alex, is go into Halo Infinite just not knowing about Halo 6, and hopefully they retcon it.
but what if there's this big twist, David?
I don't. I don't
It
want.
would be funny.
It would. But
But,
yeah,
yeah,
because
we'll
they did like another like I think it was like a 10-minute Vidoc kind of thing like after the day after the E3 presentation, with like a bit more multiplayer stuff, like going over armor customization and like more like kind of a lot of like customization, like personality stuff that you can like kind of do with your characters. And it seems, I will say, it looks promising, and it's something that I think old and new fans can really kind of will be able to get into, hopefully. but it looks really good, especially the new battle pass systems and everything. That
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
'cause-
Like people from like Apex Legends fans
And-
really want
and
that to be implemented.
Destiny,
And Destiny, yeah. I can see a big trend of that happening now.
because
I saw like the title of the article. It was like Halo Infinite isn't even out yet, and it's already setting trends.
I saw that as well. It's quite weird
Yeah.
though, because Master Chief Collection has that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it has all the old seasons, and you can choose which one you want to unlock stuff in.
Alright.
I think there's what, like 5 I think no, actually I think the 7th season's coming out next week. But like like just say you want to get Reach armor, you'll just like kind of you basically, the way it is, you get XP to get like these tokens, and then you use the tokens to buy tiers. So you do. So like you can just instead you basically just say you have 10 tokens, you could basically like split them out between the season. Just say I from what I remember, I don't know if I might be wrong on this, but from what I remember, so like you could spend like a token on Reaches one, then maybe I don't know, a Halo 1 thing or something like that, kind of like that there. You can just choose, but it's something that is needed these days. Like the amount of games that have like 3-month battle pass systems.
Oh yeah.
And then
Call of Duty's desperate for it at this stage. They just keep getting longer.
Yeah, Destiny as well. Destiny, like if you miss anything in the old battle passes, I feel sorry for you. Like there's a lot of good stuff that you kind of missed in terms of armor and all, but it isn't. I hope more games do like.
Yeah, I think
take this up.
a lot of people are gonna like try and push companies to do it, and then the companies are gonna basically have their hands, or developers are gonna have their hands tied, I should say.
Yeah.
That they're like, oh fuck, we're gonna have to put this in.
Kind of like whenever, one way I look at it is whenever Apex Legends had like the respawning mechanic, and then everyone started going, oh my god, all the other battle royales need this, and then everyone
Yeah.
tried to start doing it then.
Yeah. Because I know, like, even with Call of Duty's doing, or Warzone's doing fast travel now.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Oh god. But yeah, Infinite looks really good. Of course I'm going to buy it and play it day one
Same.
away
I
because
probably will.
I'm a
I've already just
very
played
big
campaign day one.
Halo
like,
show.
Get it out of the way.
Oh, I am hands down. I am a very, not to spoil anything for the people at home, but I have an entire bookshelf dedicated to Halo books and comics. Like, I still need to read the new one. I think it's Shadows of Reach,
Yeah.
because it's basically Master Chief and Blue Team going back to Reach. And I need to see how that'll tie into it, because I haven't actually got the chance to read it yet. But I remember it really both annoyed me and made me laugh, because whenever they showed Shadows of Reach, everyone thought that they were going to bring back Noble Six. And I was going to say this earlier.
Well, yes, they did. They're bringing them back.
No, I haven't.
It was they're slowly doing it.
But one
Spartan Lock.
he might be dead.
You'd like
He
that.
might be dead. No, have you not seen the? There was a Mega Bloks figure, and there was concept
really?
art that was really.
Oh, his
really,
armor.
yeah, a brute chief.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but he has Locke's helmet on his shoulder, on his arm.
Yeah. Again, just the helmet.
Just the helmet. We don't know.
Just the helmet. No
See, that's why I think they'll
buttons.
be doing like little story DLCs,
Oh yeah, just the
like little,
Yeah.
not even like maybe even like just single missions.
yeah. So you have the Spartan Lock DLC, then the Noble Six.
They could
Then
for
the
all we
Sergeant
know.
Johnson.
Oh, Sergeant Johnson. Oh, it was
Rip
one.
my boy.
There was actually a lovely Easter egg in that trailer, in one of the multiplayer trailers. It's like
Yeah.
it's like one of the maps has like on the wall Sergeant Avery J. Johnson, Military Science Academy or something like that.
Oh nice.
Which I was like, that's a nice touch. Thank
Nice.
you. He will live on.
Oh, but of course we'll have to end it mainly with the big boy. Your favorite.
Mr. Todd Howard himself. I was right. A bit of context. Me and Alex were in a Xbox party like 2 minutes before the E3 showcase. Alex was going somewhere, so we didn't get a chance to watch it, and we were both joking. Like, imagine it just starts up. Todd Howard comes on stage and just goes, "Yeah, Starfield," and then says a ton of stuff about Starfield, and no one understands anything, and then that's it. And while it was happening, I was watching the E3 showcase live, and it started happening, and I started freaking out, and I started texting Alex saying this stuff, and it all came true.
Lo and behold, I was right. I know him too well. I know him too well. I'm actually his ghostwriter. Not his ghost writer, his ghostwriter.
But yeah, we got a nice little teaser trailer for Starfield. Still no one, I don't think anyone has an idea of what's going on, but you know.
Classic Todd, you know.
The only thing that everyone gleamed from it, and it's not even to do with Starfield, but in the cockpit of the ship, there is a little like drawing on the side of one of the computers, and it is the outline of Daggerfall and Hammerfell.
I saw that. I saw
And
that.
everyone started just
Everyone's
freaking out.
out. Yeah.
So
yeah.
everyone just glossed over Starfield. It was like Elder Scrolls 6. And I
It
started
could
laughing.
just be a little marking, but then again, it's Todd.
But, I mean, it is interesting. It's an interesting idea, I will say, and I really want to see.
Yeah.
Cause I think the premise is like going to space to find like this to do something with an ancient. I've only seen this online. I don't know if it's true, but to find like an ancient civilization to kind of learn how to travel farther in space. Kind of, I think.
Interstellar.
I haven't seen Interstellar.
It's basically Interstellar. I was just like, oh yeah, this is sort of Interstellar. It's like, Tom, what did you start development in 2014 or? You know?
I was half expecting Todd to open it up and just be like, right, Starfield, 32 times the detail this time.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, from what I've seen, it's your classic Bethesda, you know, your Skyrim, your Fallout, but it's just basically a different setting, which is kind of refreshing for once.
First of all, all I'm gonna say is, how dare you?
What?
You went. It's just your average
Skyrim, Fallout 4.
Fallout. You didn't. It's
What?
it's like you just entirely gleamed over the Elder Scrolls. It's what everyone does.
No, well, it's just most people aren't like us that play fucking Oblivion, dude. I played Oblivion. Dickhead, I played Oblivion. You can't turn me with that brush. I played Oblivion before you fucking did, you prick.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I played fucking Shivering Isles. What did you do?
I was
Fucking
playing
love
Skyrim
Shivering
for the 10th time.
Shivering Isles, still better than Dragonborn DLC.
Oh, it's one of the best DLCs ever made. Like,
Probably, oh yeah, it's like Minerva's Den.
oh my god.
We're having a Bioshock.
Oh,
episode soon. We
hands
just have to,
down. We
have to.
need to.
Just we can talk about those 3 games alone for like an hour.
I could
You know what I
sit,
mean? Like,
I could
there's so much in there.
I could sit and ramble about the lore and the backstory of the Elder Scrolls franchise
Yeah,
for honestly
yeah.
hours.
we'll do that when Elder Scrolls 6 finally comes out.
It'll just be me on a podcast episode by myself, just spewing out everything in my head.
Well, I imagine we will eventually talk about Bioshock just because, you know, the 4th one will be coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, Infinite alone, I could talk about what the original Infinite was.
Yeah.
You know, and how it was a different game. We could talk about just that alone for so long.
I mean, you already know my opinions on Infinite.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. You're quite like the majority, and I understand that because
Yeah.
I just wish we got the game that
Oh yeah.
you know, they wanted to make.
Looking up that stuff. If any of you are a fan of the Bioshock franchise and you just want to know, or even just want to get a bit of insight on what the original Bioshock Infinite was, look it up. It's such a shame.
It was
with
gonna
what
be.
happened.
It was gonna be so in depth.
Yeah.
Open world and choice. Like it was gonna be as groundbreaking as the original Bioshock.
Yeah.
Really.
Because it's one thing
it's
that
just
2 lacked in. As much as I love
Yeah.
2, because my favourite's 1, 2, then 3 in that order. And I loved it, but at the same time, it did feel too samey.
I think the problem with 2 was just they tried to push multiplayer too much.
Yeah.
But like I still think, well, fucking DLC should have been the game. Why was the DLC not the game?
Oh, I know.
It
Minerva's
would have been
Den
amazing.
is honestly one of the best. It's up there with one of the best DLCs ever made.
One of the best stories ever
Yeah.
written.
Yeah.
It's so intriguing. Like,
It's so beautiful.
just go into it blind. You know, like,
Yeah.
everyone I know that talks about Minerva's Den never spoils it.
Yeah.
It's just so good, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, 'cause
It's got that same shock factor that the first game has.
yeah, it has like that. It feels more like a sequel to the first game than the actual Bioshock 2 itself, because it just, oh, the story.
You see, my only problem with Bioshock 2 is it's the only game, including like Minerva's Den, even though it's DLC, it doesn't have that, shock factor.
Yeah.
Towards the end, basically.
Yeah, as much as I don't like Infinite's kind of
It's
story,
a very
and
yeah.
like
the problem with Infinite is it relies too much on that. Like,
yeah, it tries.
there's nothing before that.
The thing with Infinite is it tries to tie itself in with Bioshock 1 so much that I think it took away so much from the actual game.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't like it near the end. Was they kept trying, especially the DLCs.
Yeah.
They, we need to do a Bioshock episode.
Yeah, we're going to do Bioshock.
Anyway, back to E3.
Back to E3. We need to finish it. We need to finish it. What else? Fuck Bethesda. What else does Bethesda show? Fuck.
So yeah, Starfield looks good. Looks interesting. I wouldn't even say it looks good. We didn't see much of it. It's
Pretty
interesting.
much, yeah, it's just cinematic.
It's a Bethesda game. It's hopefully going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Now, what else?
The next big thing that came from E3, and I think you'll agree on with this with me, like the third biggest thing, Stalker 2.
Oh yeah. How did I forget? That's coming out next February.
Yep. And oh my
It's looking
god,
good.
we got actual
looking
gameplay of a game
I know,
at E3.
I know.
Oh my god.
I know.
I was actually looking up on the Xbox store because it came out. There's actually multiplayer for it.
I know. It's gonna be. It's. I mean, they've been working on it for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
my god.
It's gonna fill that void. While there's been no Metro game for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's gonna really kind of fill that kind of void.
Yeah. I haven't finished. Well, I haven't finished the second DLC for Metro, but I don't know.
I didn't even play the DLCs
Oh,
next to this.
play
I know
them.
I need to. I know.
The
I
Two
know.
Kernels is so good. It's such a
I know.
nice story, and
It's always on sale as well. I'm just like, oh, I need to buy that.
so good.
Oh.
But yeah, so I don't think Metro will get a game anytime soon.
No.
Because the stories,
They are working on a fourth one.
yeah,
But it'll be a couple of years, I
yeah.
imagine.
But oh my god, Stalker 2, oh my god. It's honestly one of those games where it's like, last year, me and Alex was it last year or the year before that it was revealed? Whenever it was me, you, and Adam watching the E3 presentation.
It was last year, yeah.
Yeah, and we just started freaking out, trying to figure out what it was, and we realized it was Stalker 2, and we just lost
Because
it.
you were convinced it was Chernobyl.
Chernobylite, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, no, wait, it couldn't
I
be.
was like, no, it has to be Stalker. Well, I originally thought it was just Stalker Remastered.
Yeah, so did I. And whenever you said
And then
Stalker,
I
I was
was
like,
what? Stalker 2? Holy fuck.
it honestly looks so fucking good, though.
It does look good. It does look good.
Looks unbelievable.
It is looking good.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else came out. What else? Outer Worlds 2 had a very.
Gowie announcement.
I think it was probably one of the best trailers from E3 ever. It was just, it was one of the funniest ones anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the most self-aware ones.
They're very self-aware. That's the one thing I do.
It was the same thing that Grounded had last year. And you're like,
oh yeah.
I mean, looking back on it, it's
almost Fable-like.
Yeah, looking back on it, it wasn't that good because they were like, "Oh, is it gonna be the next best thing since Cyberpunk?"
Oh yeah.
But
That's actually funnier even now.
yeah, it's funnier looking back on that and being like, "Oh, Jesus."
Yeah.
But yeah,
remember the good old days.
I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see Avowed.
Hmm.
I was kind of disappointed, but
Well, there was some stuff. Right, I'll give you a rundown of stuff I was shocked that they didn't show off. Spider-Man 2, PlayStation wise, but although we'll probably get a Sony press conference.
well, I mean,
right?
Miles Morales came out not too long ago, so I wouldn't say it's that. I'd say we
It was more of a spin-off though.
Yeah.
I was more expecting the announcement at least.
I'd say, well, I mean, I wonder if Sony's actually going to do any sort of showcase.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was surprised we didn't get. I mean, right. I'm gonna just talk about this quickly. Guardians look shit, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. It's all we're gonna say. Nothing more, nothing less. Right? It looks bad. Right? That's all I'm gonna say.
All I'm gonna say is basically all of Square Enix's conference was shit.
Yeah, they sort of dug their own grave since Avengers,
Yep.
and since they dropped Hitman.
I wonder how badly Guardians of the Galaxy is going to sail because of Avengers as well.
Yeah, because it looks very similar, and I imagine it's set in the same universe.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they're going to try
I
and
wonder
do.
if it's going to be the same gameplay loop as well. If it is, it's definitely going to be digging its own grave.
It's very like single player only, and the problem is you only control Star Lord, and you basically command the others to do things.
So like it's not like a squad based tactical kind of thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of the designs. I don't think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
What else? Breath of the Wild 2 got a trailer.
Yeah.
That's not coming out next year, even though they say it is.
Let's see.
How many times was Breath of the Wild, the first one, announced?
Oh
And
god.
had a release date, and had another release date.
Yeah, especially with things going on at the moment, I can just see it getting pushed back.
Oh yeah, yeah. What else? Very surprised. No, like we didn't get any news on Gotham Knights, or Suicide Squad game.
Yeah.
What else?
Uh,
trying to think. Not sure. I think
yeah.
it's kind of much it. It's kind of it. Oh, there's one game I do want to talk about very quickly. It's a wee indie game. Xbox showed off. It'll become the Game Pass, obviously. Somerville.
Which one's that?
It's the very kind of like cell shaded, like it's like a family, little small family. Very similar to Limbo
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
Inside. It's from the same guy who did Limbo and
Oh,
Inside.
really?
Yeah, so I'm very excited to sort of see that.
Ooh,
He sort
yeah,
of
'cause
set up his own Splinter kind of group instead of working with. Can't remember the fucking game studio.
Yeah.
It's like Playdead Studio or something. But he set up his own kind of like Splinter Studio, and he developed this basically.
Yeah.
It looks
One-
good though. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it does look like one thing I will say is props to Xbox for showing so many like indie games and giving them the
Yeah.
same amount of space as like all these AAA games. Like there was an absolute
12 seconds.
mountain. 12 seconds. There was I can't there was that many of them. I can't remember most of the names. You know the one that's like the 2D. Oh my god, was it
Oh, yeah.
replaced? What's it called?
It's something like that.
Yeah.
Cannot remember the name
And-
for the life of me though.
There's so much stuff that has been revealed that it is so
Yeah.
hard to remember all of it. But it looked, it's like I think the premise is like an AI gets put into your body, and basically takes over your body,
Yeah.
and that looks unbelievable. Like,
It
and
is looking good.
I think another one is the Ascent. We got more gameplay of that.
That was it. Yeah, that was another one.
Oh my
yeah.
god! I think that was made by like 13 people as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I mean, I'm very excited. Like, I do like how they basically dedicated the middle of their show to the indie games.
Yeah.
Which was kind of nice, but it's very kind of Xbox in a way, because Xbox kind of do
Oh,
care
yeah.
about the indie games.
Yeah.
They care about all kind of games really at this point. They don't really care.
Yeah.
Whereas like PlayStation are more oriented towards
they're
AAA titles.
they're big
exclusives.
spectacle games.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's-
That always disappoint fans somehow.
Well, they never live
Um,
up to the hype.
No.
Especially with PlayStation fans that just kind of. I'm gonna probably annoy if anyone listening is a PlayStation fan. You're more than entitled to get annoyed here, but like, I think they're built up. How would you put it? They're given like so much like expectation to something that, in my opinion, is just going to be like, all right,
Yeah.
like in that way. Like
I
I
know
don't.
what you mean.
I don't really know off the top of my head any examples, but like, I don't know. I don't really know how to put it, but yeah, they're just overhyped, and especially with a console that markets itself so much off of these exclusives
Yeah.
and things like that. Whenever they do kind of not underperform, but they're a bit lackluster, then what do you have to fall back on?
Power to the people.
Except whenever the people want power. Then no.
I mean, we've kind of talked about everything, but
Let's
there's
see.
one thing I want to end this on. And
Yes.
this is the thing I've been wanting to talk to you about since the beginning of this, right? I want to tease it until the very end. So Todd Howard came out and basically said he has as much. He's as big as Hideo Kojima. And I perfectly thought this. It's basically, in the film industry, it's basically the equivalent of comparing Akira Kurosawa to Quentin Tarantino.
See,
In the way, in a way of Akira Kurosawa, who's long dead now, made a ton of great samurai films, inspired many people within the industry as well as outside the industry. Well respected, whereas Tarantino was well respected outside the industry, but not from within the industry. Which I think is a perfect tie-in to compare Kojima to Todd Howard.
To be fair,
sort of way.
he's probably as recognizable. Like, I think everyone knows Todd Howard.
Yeah.
Like, at this rate.
I think it's just the fact that
But-
Kojima makes sort of good games all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of people know him for no Todd Howard for bad reasons. Like, especially his
Yeah.
Sweet Little Lies.
Like, Kojima makes a game. Like, he'll fucking write it and direct it and fucking, you know,
Yeah.
he'll literally make the game, like, and he'll spend fucking years making one game, whereas Todd will be like,
To be fair,
Yeah.
though, looking back on old stuff and everything, I do think that he is passionate about what he does.
yes, I think he's just kind of lost his way.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the one thing he needs to sort. I think he's starting to realize it now, which is good. But it was sort of
yeah. I think
post Skyrim, and up until
post
you know,
Skyrim, they were like,
Fallout 76.
the way I look at it is, they post Skyrim, they were like probably the highest of their high.
Yeah.
Maybe Fallout
Drunk,
4.
Dishonored,
Yeah.
all that. Like, they were just drunk with power.
Then Fallout 4 came, and while it did
Mm.
sell amazingly well, and I would say it is like 70 days worth of gameplay on that game. Like, I love it, but it really fell short of what the other games were. I'm trying to think of a comparison. I can't at the moment, but it's like it feels like they became so big and not Fallout themselves, but like it just felt like Fallout 4 lacked in a lot of ways that made the older games good.
It's kind of like you know, when your reach hits your grasp or whatever.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. And then I think 76 gave them, even though it wasn't done by like Todd Howard, it was done by the Austin Group. I think that kind of gave them a kick and made them really realize that we can't keep living on Skyrim forever, and that like all the good
Yeah.
grace that got. Kind of like what happened with Cyberpunk.
Pretty much, yeah.
In that
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
where it's
yeah.
like everyone was going off about Cyberpunk and like saying that, like I think that CD Projekt Red were going off all that good grace that they got with The Witcher 3,
yeah,
and all of that.
100%, yeah.
And then whenever Cyberpunk hit, the rug was pulled from under them, and then that was it.
Mm.
But yeah, I still love him. I still love Todd Howard. He's a great laugh.
Tell me lies, tell me
sweet little
lies.
lies. But yeah, ton of other games like Plague Tale Requiem. Very excited for that. Atomic Heart. I didn't even think that game was coming out until like they showed Atomic Heart.
Yeah.
Because I remember like years ago seeing that trailer, like the really freaky trailer. Do you ever see it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And honestly, that freaked me out so much, but it looked so interesting, and it's good to see that there was more on that. And then what else? Hades is coming to Xbox, coming to
Saw that,
consoles.
yeah.
Very excited about that.
Yeah, it got big traction last year, especially.
Yeah, I actually really wanted to get the. I would have loved to play that,
On
but I don't have a
Switch?
PC.
Oh, alright.
Oh, it's on Switch.
I think it's on Switch, you know.
Oh, I could have played it on
Pretty
Switch.
sure it's on Switch. Yeah,
But
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's been on Switch because it was originally a digital download, then they released physical copies.
but
Like last year.
yeah, ton of other games. A lot of games coming to Game Pass.
Mm.
I know it's a ton of them. A ton of the Bethesda games came on like the day of the.
Oh
E3.
yeah. Just to sort of like bring that announcement closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bethesda are with us now.
And what else? Well, it wasn't E3. It was Summer's Game Fest. We got Elden Ring that exists.
Oh yes. I saw
Thankfully.
some gameplay on that.
Yeah. Oh, looks good.
Looks
A lot of
looking alright.
one thing I actually will say is, you know, it's a bit of a Viking kind of feel to it. Not Viking, but like that there thing.
Valhalla.
Yeah, a lot of people are actually like comparing it to actual Celtic mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw one of the people. Someone actually put up a good argument for one of the characters, like one of the bosses being Cuchulainn.
Oh, that could be interesting.
I
Irish
am
mythology, of course.
I am all for. I think at this rate I'm starved for Irish mythology and something. I would play Valhalla for the Irish DLC or the Ireland DLC, but no.
Oh yeah, the druids.
Yeah, I'm not playing Valhalla. Yeah. Other than that, I don't really think there's much else. Forza Horizon 5 looks unbelievable visually.
Hmm.
That's really about it. Oh yeah. One thing I completely forgot about. What about Redfall, the new Arcane game?
I've not seen it. I haven't seen anything on
They did it. It was at the very end of the E3. It's like a little. It wasn't even like. It's
it.
not
It's
an.
cinematic or something.
It was like a cinematic. It was basically them just showing off their next project. It's kind of like a, you know, like Back 4 Blood or Left 4 Dead.
Oh yes.
It's kind
yes,
of like
yes.
that,
That'll
but
be
with
interesting.
vampires.
Oh, that could be interesting.
It looks interesting, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I think
We'll
I
see. Well, Arcane never they haven't been bad, have they? Really,
not
recently?
really no. I haven't played. Well, I mean, I haven't even seen much on Deathloop, so I haven't.
No.
I don't know how that turned out. I haven't really kept up with that. But
But no, it's kind of.
not
It's kind of. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't think there's much. It was a big E3 though.
It was. There was so much like even indie stuff and just actual like not like just
I was
actual
more
like
impressed with the indie stuff.
yeah
than anything
like
else,
12
oddly
minutes.
enough.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that looks great.
Oh, Willem
Where you're stuck in
Dafoe.
this constant loop.
I just saw Willem Dafoe pop up and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
See, it's made it even better. But
But the year of the indie games, essentially.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's just, a lot of people are getting sick of like these AAA games kind of falling
Yeah.
through, where they're looking
Whereas
for some.
the indie games are more solid, if you know what I
Yeah, they're
mean.
more
They're very
solid.
replayable.
Yeah, they have a lot more
Art
heart
styles
to
more
them.
unique.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah. It's
There's
more
a-
passion.
Yeah, if like, cause like a lot of AAA games these days are getting kind of all not samey, but like they're all. They feel not hollow, but like they lack personality
Something's
these
missing.
days.
Yeah.
Where I think indie games kind of really, even AA games to that standard kind of have that.
Mm.
Like I've been playing, I would consider Chivalry 2 to be more of a AA game, and I've been playing a lot of that, and it feels like it has a lot of personality to it. But yeah, I don't think there's much else
Mm.
at E3.
Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think it's a good enough. I think we
Alright,
talked
so,
a good bit.
you've been listening to the Standard Podcast, and make sure to follow on the Twitters, even though we don't use it, but especially the Instagram, and make sure to give us those downloads on.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Buzzsprout and Spotify and Google Podcasts and all those lovely boys. We'll have Dave back on as soon as possible to talk about Bioshock.
Oh, I would love it.
Oh, I hope so.
Have like a
I know.
3 or 4 hour long podcast episode just based
Oh,
on
100%.
us
On
ranting.
each game. It'll be a trilogy.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That could work. I could see that. But yeah, that's been it.
Thank you all for listening.
Good night.